Yes! Alrighty. What's up, everybody? It is I, your very fucking tired and gracious host, Peter Joseph here, for a Tuesday afternoon video. Or Tuesday evening, getting close to Tuesday night video. Wherever you may be, it's Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. So grab yourself a taco and eat it. And remember, Taco Cat, spelled backwards, is still Taco Cat. Not otaku, but taco. So it is what it is. But happy Tuesday, everybody. July the 7th, 2026. Thank you all for watching right here on the main channel, Killer of Demons 669. And as always, make sure you like the video. Hit that subscribe button down there. You know where it is. In my pants, otherwise known as the description box below. Share the video all over the internet. Leave a comment on this video or any one of my videos on this channel and my respective channels as well. From the past, now, and in the future comment. But don't leave stupid comments. You will get sent to the Shadow Realm, beaten severely with an electric barbed wire baseball bat. And after that, Ozzy and Satan will come out and eat your rotting, disgusting soul. So don't do it. Go to your dead channel and do that. Because if you don't like getting blocked, then don't leave stupid comments. Because if you do, you have no life. You can go to the Shadow Realm and get destroyed there too. Or you can just cry about it, little bitch. And that's that. Can't follow the rules, then do not be on YouTube and you're not going to do it on my channel. You don't like it? That's tough shit. It is what it is. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Don't forget to tap and slap that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. You miss anything, you need to get slapped even more because you are SOL. You know what that means. And if you don't know what it means, for God's sake, look it up. And that's pretty much it. And if you're brand new here, well, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, grab the tasty cold one. Put your stinky feet up and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You know, that's too bad, bitch. And we move on with that. And that's that. Alright, it's been a long day, guys. And I am feeling like complete shit. But I'm still going to be doing this video. We're going to watch some NXT. And then pretty much might take a quick nap. And then maybe have a late night snack. But we'll see what happens with that. But hope you had a great day. It's Tuesday, July the 7th, 2026. We got NXT coming up in about a half hour from now. It is taped because pretty much everything in WWE was after Monday was they sent everybody home for about a week. So they taped NXT last Tuesday after the Tuesday show. So we're getting a taped NXT. Should be a pretty decent show. Kendall Gray defends her women's title against Natalya. We got a number one contenders match for the Women's North American Championship. And we'll see who faces Delta for the Women's North American title. And a whole lot more on your 2 hour cure for insomnia. That's NXT. And that's that. We had a great day of the World Cup. Oh, Argentina. Oh, if you had Argentina to win, you won a lot of money. But, man, Argentina was down 2-0 to Egypt. And then the second half, they just woke up. 3 straight goals. Egypt's still like, oh, what's going on here? What can I do to Egyptian, you know? They just, you know, they played a good first half, and then the second half, you know, they scored a goal, and then I'm like, uh-oh, they were gonna look like they're about to pull off the upset, and Argentina came back, Messi with a goal, they got another goal, right, I think Messi got the goal right near the end of the second half, but they added 7 minutes, which became 10, and then in the extra time, Argentina got the goal. You know, Egypt thought it was, offside, but, it is what it is. But Argentina gets the win, and they will face, well, it was between Colombia and Switzerland, and that game just ended, and Switzerland pulled off the upset and beat Colombia. So this Saturday afternoon, we got Argentina and Switzerland, and in the other quarterfinal, we got Norway and England. Hopefully, Norway scroll. I almost said swole, but it is Norway. Hopefully, will destroy England, those bastards from England, and we'll see what happens with that. Hey, USA's gone. Brazil was gone. So, one of my picks, my original pick to win the World Cup, which was Argentina, not because of somebody who likes Argentina, but just because I'm picking Argentina. So, I had Argentina to possibly win. I had France to possibly win. They're still in it. They got to face Morocco, I believe, Thursday. That should be an interesting game. But yeah, France is gone. France is in. Sorry, France. But Portugal's gone. Ronaldo's out. We still got Messi. Still in. You see the quarterfinals now on Saturday. We'll see what happens with Argentina and Switzerland. Should be a pretty interesting game. And that's pretty much it. But Argentina's game was great. Colombia, Switzerland, not so good. But it was alright. It was interesting. It was exciting at times. But still, it is what it is. But this World Cup has been great. And we got pretty much 1 week to go. We got about a week to go before the actual finals of the World Cup, which is on the 19th. So 12 more days of the World Cup. On and off, because I think we have some off days. But it is what it is. So we'll see what happens with that. I wish Italy was in this World Cup, but we gotta wait till 2030 to possibly be in it. Or you have the Euro Cup coming up. So we'll see what happens with that. With Italy. And we won. So after World Cup, we pretty much after next week we got the All-Star game from baseball, since the final week of the first half of The Price is Right. First half of the baseball season. Mets got the Royals tonight. Seth Lugo coming back to New York. We'll see what happens with that. Mets on a 2-game winning streak after splitting in Atlanta. See if they can make a little surge as we get into the All-Star break. Yankees, well, the Yankees. That's what they are. They stink. Both New York teams stink going into the All-Star break, but we'll see what happens after pretty much on July 16th when the Mets can come back to face, I believe, Philly in the second half. We'll see what happens with that. Alright, before we get to NXT tonight, like I said, I hope you had a great day, and if not, that's too bad for you. But after 8 minutes of spiel, which you clipped and you got nothing else to do, because you don't do anything anyway, but on your Tuesday night, it is time for your late and really out-of-date TNA, Impact Wrestling, and Ring of Honor reviews for Thursday and Friday of last week, July the 2nd and 3rd, 2026. Ring of Honor had a special Friday show, which is rare in Ring of Honor land, but special Friday show, we'll get to that in just a minute. But we started with Impact Wrestling, as always, a better show of the week between those two. So, coming on a Slammiversary, and now we're pretty much heading to lockdown in Chicago on August the 23rd. So we'll see what happens with that. But make a couple pit stops. So we have the Albany tapings starting. They're gonna be in Philly next week at the Leocurus Center. So we're gonna get those tapings probably the week after next, I think. But we got that. But in any case, we are emanating from the Broadview Center in Albany, New York, the capital of New York. And as always, our commentary team of Tom Phillips and the man who loves Rusev D. And that's Matthew Waywall, otherwise known as Aiding English. Alright, so we get a recap of Slammiversary with new champion Xia Brookside, the new Knockouts champion. We have the Prophecy my girl Rosemary and Allie, the new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Hardys, once again, back as the Men's Tag Team Champions. And our good buddy, the man who parked Issa's car perfectly, and that's Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, is the new World Heavyweight Champion as he beat Mike Santana, who is now gone from TNA. We'll probably be seeing Mr. Mike Santana in NXT pretty soon, along with another guy named Mr. Hiromu Takahashi, and from what I read today, Richard Holiday, the king of the Indies, well, it's not so much king of the Indies, but an indie darling, he's big on the Indies. Richard Holiday will be coming to NXT pretty soon. So, if you don't know who Richard Holiday is, look him up, you stupid, lazy fucks. That's all I gotta say about that. Alright, Mets are up 3-0. Wow. A 3-run single? That's rare. A rare 3-run single for the Mets. They're up 3-0. Bottom of the first inning at Citi Field against the Royals, or not so good Al, but we have that. And that's it. Alright, so after the opening recap of Slammiversary, we have the new TNA Impact Champion, or the TNA Champion, Dolph Ziggler. Well, Ryan Nemeth comes out, introduces his big brother, who's the best wrestler of the last 35,000 years. Okay, Ryan, you've been drinking some of that vino, you know. He been drinking. I don't know what he was talking about, but anyway. So Nick comes out. He's pleased with how Slammiversary went down for him, and Ryan pulls out a scroll with like the list of Jericho. You know, the 1,000 moves of Jericho, 1,001 moves of Jericho back in WCW. So the scroll lists various names that Nick has beaten in his career. Randy Orton citing Kane, Rey Mysterio, Cody, MDK, Cody, that bitch, Ultimo Dragon, Johnny Nitro, Johnny TV, John Morrison, any incarnation of Johnny Mundo, whatever you want to call him, and John Cena, among a bunch of others. So that was pretty nice. And then KC Navarro, my good buddy who follows me on Twitter, he comes out and says, "Hey, Nick, I want to have a talk with you." And then Ryan's like, No. Nick has to cut that off. Also, like, KC faced Ryan later in the night. But other than that, anyone could come after him and he will put them down. And then KC, that's pretty much it. That was it. KC leaves and then Dolph's like talking to him. I'm like, okay. So, it looked like KC Navarro was going to be the first challenger for Nick's title, but, we'll see what happens with that. Good way to, get Nick going as we get closer and closer to the lockdown, where I assume he's going to have a team taking on some other team, and in Lethal Lockdown, which is coming back for the first time in a while, so we got that. Let me move on. Alright, after that, Gia Miller, the lovely Gia Miller, has the former X-Division champion Leon Slater with her. So Leon says that Cedric stole the X-Division title at Slammiversary when Leon and Amazing Red were on the X structure trying to get the belt dropped, and then lo and behold, Cedric's there. Oh, my belt now! So Cedric won the belt because he had full possession of the belt. So Leon says, I'm still coming for the title, but right now, I'm going to teach Eddie Edwards a lesson in the main event as part of my path to becoming the biggest star in TNA. I mean, we'll see, but he's got a long way to go. But putting him in the world title picture, that might be a good thing. And we'll see what happens with that. He's facing a former multiple-time world heavyweight champion, that's Eddie Edwards, so we shall see what happens with that. Alright, then we're going to recap of Tracy Brooks, that's Kaz's wife, by the way, coming out and announcing the start of the new Knockouts TV title, a mid-card title for the women. Because you have nothing else besides the women's tag team belts and the Knockouts title. Gonna have something else, so another title in wrestling. Great. So he announces the Knockouts TV title tournament to crown the very first champion. That's pretty damn nice. The belt looks pretty damn good too. Alright, so we had our first match in the tournament. We had the Puerto Rican princess, no, not Issa, but another Puerto Rican princess. That's Tasha Steelz of Order 4. Takes on, well, the honorary member of the Prophecy. She loves her lollipops, and she can suck on my lollipop all night long, Mara Sade. And it is Mara Sade, otherwise known as Jakari Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. So, pretty good match for under 8 minutes. Back and forth they went. Set up powerbomb gives Mara a near fall. Tasha's neck breaker gets a near fall. And then she tries to springboard, get kicked out of mid-air. Ow. Which allows Mara Sade to go up top. But it took too long, and Tasha goes for a charge, miss. And then Mara hit that beautiful looking moonsault. Even Mr. Kurt Angle approved that one. So just that beautiful moonsault. 1, 2, 3. Yes! The Prophecy wins again, motherfuckers! So Mara Sade will go on to the quarterfinals where she will face Allie or Heather by audience. We can see 2 Prophecy members facing off in the quarterfinals, but we shall see what happens with that. Move on. Good match. And then after the match, Mustafa Ali and the rest of Order 4, Agent Zero, and the Good Hands, Skylar and Hotch, they come out, and boy, is Mustafa Ali pissed with Tasha Steelz. Not the first time. He's been mad at Tasha Steelz, and he, kind of kicked her out. Tasha comes back to help Mustafa Ali. Yeah, you're back in. Now what? Are you gonna really kick her out? I don't know. So we'll see what happens with that. Let me move on. Alright. Rick Swan, we are Rick Swan sighting at Slammiversary along with Ha Nation, otherwise known as Apollo Crews, in that Intercontinental title open challenge, which became a 3-way, I believe. So Rick Swan, the guy, goes all night long, all night. He gives Brandon the Entertainer, that fake YouTuber, a pep talk. Yeah, get away from wrestling. That's pretty much it. But anyway, gives BDE a pep talk, because we have a number 1 contenders match. 1, 2, 3, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a 6-pack challenge. The winner gets an X-Division title shot, I believe. Number 1 contender. So it gives Brandon a pep talk, even though they're both in the scramble match. Kind of makes some sense. So anyway, we get to that. So we have Brandon the Entertainer, Rick Swan, Giovanni Vinci, Fabian Aichner, Mr. Elegance, the team of Jack Perry, Jason Hotch of the Great Hands, and the hometown man, Cody Deaner, I think he was wearing a Nick shirt. But anyway, this was a wild match. Didn't last that long. 5.5 minutes scramble match. And it's 1 fall to a finish, by the way. Not elimination rules. But anyway, we get near the end. Brandon hits a dive. Then a big one from Rick Swan to get back in a Tower of Doom spot. Sends Rick Swan flying into a Phoenix Splash onto Jason Hotch. That was nice. Great sequence there. And then he hits a lethal injection. Oh, somebody's been watching Jay Lethal tapes. Ooh, yeah, machismo. So his lethal injection on Hotch, but then Mr. Elegance made the save, and I was like, oh, please don't make him win. So Brandon splashes him, but gets caught in, and Fabian Aichner set up powerbomb. 1, 2, 3, a new number 1 contender in Fabian Aichner, so he will face Cedric Alexander for the X Division title at a later date. We don't know when that will be, but hey, Giovanni Vinci, you're good at dying like Tony D, my cousin, By the way, my cousin, Tony D, had a beautiful baby boy today. Him and his wife, Isabella, had a baby boy. So my cousin had a baby. So I inherited in cousin. So he's not here right now. He's taking care of the baby right now. So, but we have that. So big ups to my cousin Tony D, another member of the family. You gotta love that. What are you gonna do? Also, Italians make great-looking babies, don't they? But I digress on that. Moving on. With that. Alright. I think we're in the back. And, we have AJ Francis, my good buddy, AJ Francis, and I don't know who the other guy was. But he was in First Class. So, First Class is back. So, they meet up with Bang Bang! Sosa! Bang, bang! Sosa! Yeah, Ricky Sosa meets up with First Class, and he's not impressed, Skywalker. Not impressed. Alright, we get that. Moving on. Alright, then Mustafa Ali, he's in the back with Hotch and Tasha Steelz, who lost earlier tonight. And they're trying to, it's like, oh, we're sorry. And Mustafa Ali's like, I don't want to hear this shit. So he is pissed that two of his members cannot get the job done. Like he did at Slammiversary. So, you get that. Alright, then it's time once again for Bang Bang Sosa. Ricky Sosa comes out. He's like, I'm new around here, and he won on Sunday against former TNA star Eric Eric Young, who's now going back to WWE to become a coach. Or some type of thing, like he's going to be like a Shawn Michaels type coach or some shit. Anyway, he's so happy with the win as EY. That's just the beginning for him. And then the Righteous Vincent and Dutch. I don't know how he does that thing with his tongue. It's creepy. But anyway. So Vincent says, we see the potential in you, and we want you on our team. So they're trying to bring him into the Righteous. I don't think that's a good fit. But anyway. Then the System, all of them come out. Eddie Edwards, his wife, Alicia Edwards, gets on the mic. Do you want to know something? No! I do not want to know anything, Alicia. Stop it! You're annoying. You're a nice lady, but, kind of annoying. But anyway. So they come out, Bear Bronson and Brian Myers, the former tag team champions. They come out. Even Eddie Edwards and, I forget who else came out. But anyway. Sega comes out too. Eddie sums it up by asking if Ricky wants to be a champion or join a cult. So Ricky turns both of them down, and then they have a big old brawl, which doesn't go Ricky's way. And then Leon Slater runs in for the save, but he gets beaten up. And yeah, that's it. So looks like we're gonna get Ricky Sosa and Leon Slater in the tag team. That could work. We'll see. So we'll see what happens with that, and we move on. Alright, then we get a video from Who Wants to Walk with Elijah. I do. So, he's happy to have his music back, even though he never lost it, but okay. He beat AJ at Slammiversary, and that weird match where if AJ Francis won, he gets Elijah's likeness and his music and his gimmick and weird stuff. And we get that. Alright, after that, we move on to, well, not the greatest match in the world and not the greatest part of the show. 5.5 minutes, another first round match in the Knockouts TV title tournament. Heather by Elegance, who's there with M by Elegance. She takes on one half of the tag team champions, and that is the bunny herself, Allie, with my demon assassin, my demon bride, the co-founder of Prophecy. That is Rosemary, and she's there. Pretty decent match. Allie, Allie was basically whipping Heather's ass for a little while. And then we get to the end. Ali shrugs off a drop kick, makes a clothesline comeback, and then locks her in upside down, which makes it even worse for Heather. And then Rosemary cut off M, who was trying to interfere, but that distraction led to Heather hitting a top rope double stomp on Ali, like pretty much right then and there. She was like almost looked like a meteora almost, but anyway, 1, 2, 3. God damn it, Ali lost, and I thought Ali and Rosemary could meet in the finals because Rosemary's on the other side of the bracket. So, and Rosemary will be facing M by Elegance. I think this week or next week. So half in the tournament right now. So Rosemary hoping to get into the quarterfinals and win that title, and Marashade on the other side will take on Heather in the quarterfinals. But man, I wanted Ali to win. Pissed me off that she lost, and that's that. All right, after that we get the new Knockouts champion, Zaya Brookside. Comes out, gets right to the point, says, "I told you so!" As Xia Li was jealous, held her back. Now you're going to see how good I am, and then, and how good I am as the new Knockouts champion. She says, the title doesn't belong to the people because it belongs to me. Xia Li comes out. She's like, I don't want to see a champion. I don't see a champion. I see a fake bitch. So she gets her obligated rematch, and we're going to get that this week on the program. But it's not going to be an ordinary match. It's going to be no disqualification. So then they start brawling again. Xia Li tries for Warrior's Way, and Xia Brookside ran to the hills, basically. Run to the hills! You know, like Iron Maiden. Eddie would sing. Where you get that. So, this week on Impact, round 3 in a tree, Xia Li versus Xia Brookside for the Knockouts title. And we'll see what happens with that. Alright, after that, Mustafa Ali begs Sonya Deville for a tag team title shot for the Great Hands. He's like, yeah, sure, you can have it next week. So the Hardys will face Skylar and Hotch next week. This week, I should say. And I don't like the chances that Skylar and Hotch will get those titles. I don't see them getting it, but you never know. That's that. Alright, then we get to the main event of Impact. Casey Navarro takes on Ryan Nemeth with Nick on commentary. 4-minute match. Nick got involved a little bit near the end, but Casey fights up for a tornado DDT, gets sent into the ring post, for a near fall. Then Ryan starts swiveling his hips like he's Elvis. Elvis, thank you very much. So goes for that neck breaker of his that took too long, and Casey comes back with the 305, not like the 619 in a 718 area code, but I digress. And then he hits that running neck breaker, 1, 2, 3. Casey Navarro gets the win, and possible date with Nick Nemeth, and we'll see what happens with that. And then after the match, Nick comes in, hits Casey with the belt. That's it, and we move on. Oh, that was not the main event. I'm sorry. I thought it was. Forget that. So it looks like Casey and Nick on a collision course for the world title. We'll see what happens with that. Alright, then the Broken Hardys, yes! Wonderful! Broken Matt and Brother Nino! I knew you'd come! Jeff Hardy, dude. They're ready for the Great Hands, but they call the fans Die Hardys. I don't think that fits, dude. I don't think that fits at all. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But Die Hardys, yeah. And once again, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. It's not. If you think it is, you have problems. I know Issa says it's a Christmas movie. I don't know what she's been watching, but it's not a Christmas movie. It's based on the day. It happens on the day of Christmas Eve, but it's not a Christmas movie. I don't get where people think it's a Christmas movie. Even Bruce Willis himself said it's not a Christmas movie. So I'm going with my boy, Bruce Willis, so think what you will. It pales in comparison to a real Christmas movie, Jingle All the Way! That's a Christmas movie. You get no cookie! No. Stop that. Alright, now we get to the main event of Impact. Leon Slater takes on Eddie Edwards while Alicia Edwards at ringside. But hold on, Alicia's like, you want to know something? I'm like, oh no, now what? She insists that Leon's fans cheer for Eddie instead. That ain't happening. So, they're not interesting, so Leon's music starts again. He's basically doing everything but yeeting, you know. But it was a pretty good match. Cedric Alexander comes in, gets taken out, which allowed Eddie to grab a fruit rolled up with a handful of underwear. 1, 2, 3. So Eddie wins, thanks to Cedric and a little bit of chicanery. 7.5 minute match, and that was pretty much it. Good match. After the match, big old beatdown. Pretty much a 4-on-1 beatdown. And then bang, bang, Sosa. Ricky Sosa comes in for the actual save. Much to Leon's appreciation. Oh no, you know. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe we see Ricky Sosa and Leon Slater going into a match. That'd be great. That'd be a banger. But we'll see. That's that. Alright, so that ends a pretty decent episode of Impact. And I gave it a pretty standard 7 out of 10 stars. And that's it. And we'll see what happens this Thursday night on the program for Impact Wrestling as we're going on to Lockdown about a month from now. Alright, now we're going to get to Ring of Honor, episode number 173. So we're getting close to 175. We're getting close to those 200 episodes of the new Ring of Honor on Honor Club. And now we're actually going somewhere because we are on the road to Death Before Dishonor. It has a date, August the 21st, from the ECW Arena. Yes! That little rinky-dink arena on the corner of Swanson and Rittner in Philadelphia, or Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. August the 21st, so that's going head-to-head with SmackDown, but nobody cares. Well, we got that. Alright, a rare Friday show because of the holiday weekend and everything, so everything was pretty much taped anyway this week. So this week is all live except for NXT. So tomorrow, live Dynamite. Collision, I think, is back on Saturday. And then we got TNA Ring of Honor back on Thursdays. And then live SmackDown this Friday from Oklahoma City with a certain guy named Phil Brooks. Yeah, we'll talk about him later. And later on. Alright, Ring of Honor on Honor Club TV, July the 3rd, 2026 from WJCT Studios in Jacksonville, Florida. And as always, our commentary team, the boring man himself, Ian Ricka Boring, and my good buddy, the Pasta. If I don't do this, he gets really mad. Pasta, my good buddy. You, sir. You. Caprice Coleman. Hey, Tony Khan, you need a new, play-by-play guy? I'm your man. Get Ricka Boring out of here. Go back to Pittsburgh, you shithead. But I digress on that. Moving on. Alright, so, good show. We have a Ring of Honor World title match set for an upcoming Collision. Interesting. We do have a title match from CMLL, because we're the tag team titles on now, El Sky, and, Mystico and Mascara Dorada. By the way, guys, I talked to Buster and the Brain, Alec Price, and Jordan Oliver on Saturday at GCW. I think it was during intermission, or near the end of the show. I forget, but anyway, long story short, I asked them about, hey, when are you guys going to go for the Ring of Honor tag team titles? They're like, well, certain team from Mexico has those belts. I'm like, yeah, you deserve those belts. Blah, 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 blah. I say, well, Tony Khan booked the show pretty, better. And then I think Jordan Oliver was like, hey, don't mess, with Tony Khan, don't mess, Tony Khan's a nice guy, don't mess with Tony Khan. I go, Tony's weird. Tony's a weird guy, you see him at the scrum, I'm like the dude doesn't blink, Jordan doesn't blink. He's like, please watch my show, and then he snorts a big line of cocaine, and Jordan was like, yeah, he's kind of weird. Hey, take it from Jordan Oliver and Alec Price themselves. They admit Tony Khan is a fucking lunatic. By the way, if you don't believe me that I went to GCW, it's not the ticket, but they gave these out as a free admission ticket. But I got my own ticket, so which is who is it? Is this here? It might be here. Ooh, what's this? Evidence. So, I bring the facts. Some of you don't. So, you think you have facts? Oh, I proved you wrong, Peter. I proved you wrong even better, so kiss my ass. Blah, 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 because you never go to GCW in your lifetime. But it is what it is. But I digress. But great to see Buster in the Brain. Along with Marcus Mathers, who teamed with them in a 6-man tag. They won, obviously. It's great. That's that. Alright, so, Ring of Honor. Speaking of NXT. Sorry about that. But not so I'm on the winning right. Alright, so we start off Ring of Honor this week, or last week, I should say, with Send for the Man! You, Hook! Come here. By the way, thanks, Hook, for the Doritos. Sponsored. Yeah, that's product placement. Hook takes on Captain Caveman! Nick Camarado beat him with the Red Rum. Made him tap out in 4.5 minutes. Decent match. Pretty much we get that. So, Hook in Ring of Honor is kind of strange, but okay. Moving on. Alright, then we get a recap of, the Beef. Getting the crap beat out of him by the premier athletes, Anthony Nese and Ari Daivari. But it was like an initiation because we get to the match. The next match, we have Tony Nese and Ari Daivari and Beef taking on 3 guys. I have no idea who the fuck they are. Keegan Garland, LJ Cleary, I know who he is. That's Lyra Valkyria's boyfriend or husband. We don't know who LJ is. And Aaron Dallas. 3-minute match. Did I say 3 minutes? Yeah, so, Beef passes initiation and hits a top rope splash because he's fat! That son of a bitch is fucking fat! Okay, Scott, we know he's fat. I'll make him bleed! Okay, calm down. Can you please get him a Snickers, please? Thank you. Scott, eat your Snickers. That's it. Thank you. Scott, you okay? Good. How's that son of Matt doing for you? Good? Good. Okay. Alright, he's fat! Oh, Scott. Damn it. Alright, NXT starts with Kaylee Armstrong, the woman who destroyed Kendall Gray and Luna Vice last week. I mean, she destroyed Kendall Gray. Looking to get that women's title from Kendall, because they fought Evolve and Kendall beat her, or the other way around, something like that. So, we got that. Let me move on. Alright, so, the premier athletes and Beef beat these 3 Hammerniggers in 3 minutes. And yes, I said 3 minutes. Alright, then we're going to look back at Mercedes Moné, the CEO, beating Maya World to win the Women's Owen Hart Cup at Forbidden Door, goes back to back. And then Athena, not really impressed with Maya World either, but looks like Maya World and Athena are going to have a showdown, and then I can tell you right now, we're going to get the final match between them at Death Before Dishonor, and maybe Athena's long reign over 1,300 days. She passed Roman already. Going on to 1,350, and maybe beyond, that might end at Death Before Dishonor. But anyway, Maya World teams up with her good buddy, her bestie, High-End Huntress, to take on Trish Adora and Robin Renegade in women's action. Decent match for 9.5 minutes. A swinging suplex drops High-End Huntress, but Maya is back up to put Trish Adora down. And then someone like chasing the dragon. Interesting. Somebody's been watching Red Dragon tapes. That drops High-End Huntress, but Maya shoves Trish onto the pile to break up the count. Break up the pin, I should say. Then the running knee gives Maya the win on Robin Renegade, who hasn't won a match to save her goddamn life. And we still don't know when Charlotte's Renegade's coming back. She's been out with a leg injury for the last 3 years. So, we'll see what happens with that. And we move on with that. Alright, the premier athletes and smart Mark Sterling, they don't think much of Beef's contributions to their win. So Beef challenges Dalton Castle, Peacock, and the Outrunners, Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum, good friends of the channel, for the 6-man tag team titles. And here comes Lona Vice, looking great. Oh my god, is that latex? That has to be latex. It looks so good on her, leather or latex. Oh, you can almost see her woo-ha. Goddamn you, Poppy Priest. Oh, you bastard. Well, Lola still has her mixed tag team championship belt with Mr. Iguana. So we get that. So Lola says, "Hey, I'm first in line. You have to get back in line, Kaylee, so I can get back my NXT World Title belt, women's title belt, I should say. I'm getting the title back, baby, mommy." So Kayla's like, "Slow your roll. Is it even about you?" And now Kaylani Jordan comes out. She's got some stake in the women's title. I mean, she had a big win, I think, last week. So Mrs. Him comes out. So we'll see what she has to say. We move on. But anyway, premier athlete. So Beef challenges Dalton and the Outrunners for the 6-man tag team belts. But Smart Mark calls it the worst promo I've ever heard. Damn. You fucking Mark. And then Ari Daivari says the exact same thing. And, he gets praised for that. As in case your promo sucked, Beef. Damn, Beef. Shit. Might have to go back to promo school. Getting hot in here. Move on. Alright, after that, we're going to look at Gozo the Gazarian, Jesus Christ, getting involved in the cage match on Forbidden Door, the TV champ. And then, Bruce touches the TV title and a bunch of smoke came up. And then, Bruce is like, "That's my bad, ese pero. You must really pull ese. You get the horns." So, Roosh versus Gozer for the TV title. We'll also see what's with that. Alright, we got a cat fight! Cat fight! Between Lola and Kaylani and, Casey. Damn! Double pounce by Kaylee Armstrong, knocking Lola and Kaylani for a loop. Bam! She wrecked them. And, hey, Kaylee Armstrong, what are you wearing? Big ups to the wardrobe lady. And even more hot ladies after this, because now we got Layla Diggs with Carmen Petrovic, the Evolve Women's Champion, Nikita Lyons, and Natty. They're in their locker room talking about nothing but. And then we have Kendall Gray, the new NXT Women's Champion, talking with her bestie, Maddie Lankowski, the Women's Speed Champion, who retained over Ariana Grace. So they're getting ready for Kendall's match against Natty for the NXT Women's Championship. But coming up later, we got Lizzie Rain, Ariana Grace, and 2 other people. They're going to be in a fatal 4-way match to see who faces Zarya or Delta for the Women's North American Championship. So we'll see what happens with that. Alright, well, Dark State's coming out, Deuces and Jokers. So we got Cutler, James, and Osiris Griffin. I think they're taking on... Who are they taking on? I don't even know who they're taking on. This is a number 1 contenders match for the tag team titles of the first that the Vanity Project had, Baylor and Smokes. So they're taking on Shawn Legacy and DVD, OTM, and I forget the other tag team. So, fatal 4-way match to see who gets the Vanity Project next. And that's that. Alright, so OTM just came out. Bronco Nima and Lucius Price. And we all know Bronco Nima is 1/4 or 1/5 of Perros de Mal in Triple A with Carmen. And Los Lobos, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo and Daga, of all guys. So, we had that. Poppy Priest was in Triple A over the weekend. So, Rey Mysterio bringing in the big guns, basically. That's Poppy Priest going after some of the men's titles. Oh, yeah, that's right. We got Birthright in this match. I think it's Stax, Mahomes, and Uriah Connors. So, like I said, the winner of this Fatal 4-Way match faces the Vanity Project, I think, next week for the tag team titles. Because we're not really going anywhere. I think we're going to Heat Wave at the end of August the 30th, pretty much the same day as Triple A pay-per-view on that day, and All Out. All In. All Out will be September 25th, 26th, I believe. That's a Saturday night pay-per-view. Interesting, going back to Saturday night pay-per-views. And speaking of Saturday night's main event, next Saturday night, from the Mecca of all sports arenas, Madison Square Garden. Should be a pretty good show. Mr. Danhausen is taking on JD McDumpfuck. And a whole lot more, which will probably be announced Friday on SmackDown. And maybe on Raw this Monday night, too. We get that. Alright, back to Ring of Honor we go. So, whoosh! Goes to the Kazarian, Leo Rush's TV title, and smoke comes out of it. So, yeah, I would not touch Gozer's, precious little title. We move on with that. Alright, then we get to our next match on Ring of Honor TV. Action Andretti takes on some guy named Alex Reynolds. This was actually a pretty good match for almost 9 minutes. We get to the end. A side effect gets a near fall, and then Alex Reynolds sends Action Andretti outside, kicks him off the apron, with Action Andretti being whipped into the barricade a few times. Ow. And then to get back up, some kicks stagger Alex Reynolds, and a Falcon Arrow inside the ring gets a near fall. Tiger Driver, I don't know what year, gives Alex Reynolds a near fall, probably 91, 97, who knows. And then Action Andretti hits a stunner over the top rope. Then he goes up top, hits a springboard 450, 1, 2, 3. Action Andretti gets the win. Pretty good match with Alex Reynolds, and that's pretty much it. So, he could get a shot at Leo Rush's title, because they used to be in the crew, but we'll see what happens with that. And then after that match, we get a beat down on Alex Reynolds. Then he grabs a chair, but then John Silver runs in for the save as Action Andretti leaves. And then goes to the Kazarian. Leo Rush pops up with an umbrella to scare him away. Okay, you think you're Gozer, you think you're Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Now you're trying to be Marty Skrull, the villain. Whoop, whoop. Too sweet. Whoop, whoop. Too sweet. Whoop, whoop. Former TV champion, 2-time TV champion. Even though he got involved in that Me Too movement, which pretty much exiled him from professional wrestling. But I met the guy. He's a good guy. I told him to watch out for Adam, the monster, because Adam Cole drugged him. If you follow BTE lore, because I remember I think it was when he won it the second time. I took a picture. I was talking to Marty, and I was like, Marty, watch out! Adam stole it. And everybody's like, what? I was like, oh, never mind. Spoiler for BTE. You had to get me out of there quick. But I said hello to the Bucks, and Adam! We miss Adam! Battle's playing Twitch right now. He's on Twitch. Not now, but he was on earlier today playing Ender Magnolia. Good game. With a PS5. Good shit. Alright, we get that. Alright, so we'll see what happens with Leo Rush. Now he's got Rouge and Action Andretti to worry about for that TV title. That's that. Alright, then another scary guy, the Mancer, Mance Warner. We hear from him. He don't care what rules he's wrestling under because he doesn't know the rules. Follow him in CCW and GCW lore, you know what I'm talking about. He's here to punch people in the face, hit the pay window. Sound like his old school days from MLW, CCW, and a little bit of GCW. I like it. The Mancer's back. The mean Mancer. Oh man, you don't want him. You don't want to meet him because he will fuck you up. That's it. Yeah, pick my nose. I don't give a shit. Moving on. Alright, then Kieran Gray takes on Anthony Wake Me Up Before You A Go-Go. Meaningless 4.5 minute garbage fest. But, yeah, Anthony Go-Go hits the right angle, which sets up that big, huge right hand. Boom, knocked him out. Referee's like, that's it, he knocked out. So, Anthony Go-Go gets the win by a knockout in 4.5 minutes. Wasn't a great match, but it is what it is. Alright, then Caprice Coleman, the pasta. He sits down with the infantry, Trish Adora, Carly Bravo, and the captain, Sean Dean, and Christiane XO. They talk about their military. Well, they talk about their military backgrounds. The captain, Sean Dean, and Carly Bravo. Talk about that. In the ring, they're very dangerous men. And bring in the American flag to explain how much they have studied every member of the Ring of Honor roster. That's not a big roster, but okay, we'll go with that. And we move on with that. Alright, back to the action we go. Women's action. To be exact, we had Cassie Lee, or, Peyton Royce of the Installation, or the Iconics, with Jesse McKay, or Billy Kay at ringside, takes on my girl, Zeta Steele, with, I think, Christopher Daniels at ringside. Pretty good match for 6 minutes. Red Velvet was at ringside as well, the women's TV champ. She was there. She had to chase Billy Kay off, and that led to Peyton Royce ramming Zeta, I believe. She rammed Zeta into the ring apron, take over, stomps in the corner, keeping Zeta in trouble, and a big, hard whip into the corner, puts Zeta down again, and a fisherman suplex gives Peyton Royce a near fall. And then she does the pose. She poses, but that was enough for Zeta to hit the real deal. 1, 2, 3, yeah! Zeta Steele gets the win, even though it was against my girl Peyton Royce, but still, a big win for Zeta. Doesn't have many big wins in Ring of Honor. She has a few, but she's getting there. She's starting to climb up in the women's ranks. She was in Survival of the Fittest. So, what are you gonna do? She's getting close. She's gonna become a women's champion in Ring of Honor pretty damn soon. And that's it. Alright, moving on with that. Alright, Action Andretti wants the TV title. He doesn't like John Silver or Leo Rush. Promises to beat Johnny Silver with Leo Rush's own umbrella. Under my umbrella. Okay, we get that. Moving on. Alright, then we're gonna look at John Moxley beating Bandito S.A., the Ring of Honor champion. Not for his title, but to keep the Continental Breakfast Champions title. Excuse me, at Forbidden Door. Next week, or this coming Thursday, the bounty hunter Brian Keith gets a world title shot. Why? He doesn't earn it. But it's Ring of Honor, AEW, one of those eliminator matches that would just give everybody a proving ground / eliminator match. Dumb. I don't even like it. I don't care. Bandito's gonna beat Brian Keith, I have a feeling. And Brian Keith's pretty much on his own now because Big Cass is gone from AEW. So the Learning Tree disbanded. So, we get that. Let me move on. Alright, then we go to the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. We had, the Facción de Ingobernables, the former champions, the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara, and the Beast, Mortos. This is in CMLL when they won the titles. El Sky won the titles in Arena, Mexico. So we get that. I don't even have to explain it. Místico and Máscara Dorada get the win and become the new tag team titles. As Dorada's back up with a springboard crucifix bomb, and then now Mística makes the Beast Mortis tap. We have new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. And that's that. This match is wild. So we have Stax and Uriah Connors beating the crap out of, I think it was Sean Legacy and Dorian Van Dux, Mike DeRuiter from LFG. So we got that. Moving on. Alright, so new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions and Místico, St. Botch, and Máscara Dorada. And then after that, big title presentation ends the show. So we got that. So that was the big Friday show. So wasn't great, but still 6.25 out of 10 stars for Ring of Honor. And that's it for this week's edition of TNA and Ring of Honor. So once again, TNA, bet of the show. Bet of the shows, I gave TNA solid 7 out of 10 stars. Ring of Honor Friday show, 6.25 out of 10 stars. But let me know what you guys thought of TNA Ring of Honor this week in the comment section below. Like Trick Woody would say, let's talk about it. And that's pretty much it. Alright, gonna watch the rest of NXT. I'll be back maybe a little bit later with your Dynamite and Collision review. We'll talk about Raw maybe tomorrow or late tomorrow night. Because I was supposed to have some plans today. I was supposed to have physical therapy today. That got canceled. I have to go in tomorrow. It was a mess today. I had some things to do, and just miscommunication between my physical therapist and me. It was a mess. So, but I had to make some changes. I was expecting a package out of, the missus got a package. I had to wait for it. So we had to wait for that package to come in because it was some food. So that got canceled. Now it's coming tomorrow. So now I gotta wait for that to come in. Hopefully I can go to physical therapy tomorrow instead of, didn't go today. But I did some shopping today with the missus, and it was just a mess. It was just a mess from 11 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And then I get the notification, oh, your package is coming tomorrow. I'm like, okay, so it's gonna come, by 1, 2 o'clock, hopefully, and then I don't have to, I do have to do some things this week. I have to go shopping again to get some extra things. I have to get some extra things in the mail, so I have to wait. Hopefully tomorrow it comes. We'll see what happens in the morning. So if it does, I got physical therapy after that, and then I'm good. I'm good to go. But that's that. But a wild day, and I'm gonna go watch some NXT. I'm gonna go take a nap, and then maybe have a light snack later on. And that's pretty much it. But anyway, have a great rest of your Tuesday night, ladies and gentlemen. The sun's about to go down pretty soon. It's gonna be Tuesday night. Sun's going down at now officially dark here in my neck of the woods at 9 o'clock on the dot. So by the time July comes, we're about 8:45-ish, dark. And then next thing you know, Labor Day weekend comes, gets around 8 o'clock, almost 8:15, 8:30-ish. So the sun is starting to go down a little bit early. Then by the time we hit Halloween, bye to the sun going down at 6, 7 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock, because we won't see that until March. Then we turn the clock back an hour, beginning of November. We start daylight savings time again, and sun will be going down around 4:30, dark around 4:45, 5 o'clock. So by the time you get home from work, it's dark. So we get that. Alright, time to watch NXT, guys. Thanks for watching. Until next time. If you're not down with that, well, I got 3 words for you. Fuck you, man. That's it. Until next time, peace.